Today, basically, I want to ask you questions which are not normally asked. Nothing to do with UFC, because obviously everyone knows you as a living legend of the sport, and a lot of material has already been covered on this topic. It would be interesting to know another side of yours, like Conor as a businessman, Conor as a human being, Conor as a father, Conor as a husband, like just to basically share your personal experiences which are beyond fighting career. Are you fine with that?
Yeah.
To start
Yeah, that would be my pleasure, Sergey.
To start with,
My pleasure.
how do you look at this year? I mean, this year has been tough for everyone, globally, but personally, how do you sum up this year? I mean, Corona, UFC, like, what do you think? Has this year been good, or you think it's maybe it's been a challenge?
I'm certainly. There are challenges, of course, every year, every day, every second. There's always challenges. But for me, I am an optimist, true and true. And although there are lots of things going on around the world, but there is lots of opportunity. There's lots of opportunity to adapt, to evolve into something else. All business sectors and all areas are they're forced to look at their ways and adapt and evolve, and that is only good. Anytime you're almost, even if you're forced to look at yourself in the mirror and look at your own practices and your own ways of how you carry yourself, if you're forced to look at that and address that and assess that and make growth through that is only a positive. So, I look at this year as an opportunistic year. You know what I mean? There are a lot of things moving and shaking, and you best believe, through this situation we are faced with, you will see some amazing things take place, as you have already seen. You know what I mean? There's some very highly intuitive things. You know what I mean? Some things that have happened and the way people have handled things. So, I just look at it with an opportunistic mindset and a very optimistic. That good things will happen from it. So. It's always happened to me, Sergey. Anytime anything bad has happened to me, or anytime I've been faced with something that forces me to look at myself, I look at the surroundings, it's always worked out for the better. So, you've got to go through the storm to get to the sun, they say. So that for me is the way I'm looking at this year.
Do you think it's possible to achieve success without this mindset, without seeing opportunities, without being adaptive? Let's say for the upcoming generations, for the next 10 years, all businessmen, if they don't have this mindset, can they succeed? Your opinion?
No.
Impossible, yeah?
I don't think so. I would say so. Yeah, you've got to. It's got to start with the mind. Your mind has to believe in chance, believe in the divine, believe in things to happen for you. You know what I mean? It's got to. Your mind must create these things before anything else. And then the rest of it, through work ethic, through fighting through the doubts and through the storm, so to speak, maybe other people's doubts upon you, fighting through all of that, strengthening. Again, this strengthens your own mind. And then, you will break through and succeed. You've got to see it. You've got to have it you've got to have that outlook.
Fully agree.
And, it is hard at times to get to that stage, but it's about a lot of self-talk. A lot of self-talk with yourself and just being honest with yourself. A lot of people can lie to themselves, but if you're truly honest with yourself, most of us, if not all of us, know the changes we must make or the things we must do in order to become successful or to reach the heights. Where it happens is we just don't do it. I know I've got to get up at 8 a.m. in the morning. I get up at 9 a.m. These are things. I know I shouldn't eat this extra pack of donuts, but you eat them. These are little defeats in yourself. If you simplify it, what time you go to bed, what time you wake up at, if you can control that, if you can control what you put into your mouth, be it food or drink or any of that, if you can control those two things, they are the main things to control. Everything else is. Everything else just falls into place after that. So if you listen to yourself and take care of yourself in this manner, it strengthens your power to conquer anything else. And that's where I have succeeded, and it's also where I've fell short. So this is coming from this is coming from an experienced talk. And even, as an everyday thing that I must bring it back to the basics, look after my rest, look after my nutrition, treat my body and my mind like a temple, and then everything else falls into place. I could say, make sure I go training, make sure I keep my training structured. But if I get my rest correct, and if I get my food and nutrition correct, the training is I don't even got to speak on the training because it's a guaranteed. I have energy. I am excited to go to work. Be it exercise or be it business. So I don't even got to say I got to make sure I got to be at this training session at this time or this meeting. That's a given. I'm asleep at a certain time. I'm up at a certain time. I'm eating a specific diet that's going to boost my immunity, my endurance, my mindset, everything else that comes with it. And then it's like I don't want to say a domino effect because dominoes is knocking it down. It's like a reverse domino effect. It builds it up. You can't build something on an unstable foundation. You build something on a shaky foundation, you can even get it high as you can. You can build something on it. You can throw things together and get it up high real quick. But the cracks in that early foundations will start to present itself, and it will start to open up and eventually crumble. And it's a hard crumble. It's a hard fall when you do this. Everyone will look to skip these things and make excuses for these things, the basics, but it catches up on you. You know what I mean? The nights out will catch up on you. The lack of discipline in the it's I'm going to say the small things, but it's not. As they say, the small things make the big things. What you put into your body, what rest you take. You were saying about you have this place where you go to, and it's like your water. We've got to have these things that strengthen us and guide us to that next level, and that's where I'm at now, and I'm trying to stay. No, I'm not trying because I'm working for it and I'm doing it. That's it. It's done. I'm engaged fully in it now. I'm fully obsessed and fully committed to being the best version of myself. And that's it, so onwards and upwards we go.
What about surroundings? I mean, people that surround you. How important is it as a part of the core? Picking right people, to help you through it. Or maybe cleaning up some people so they don't distract you. You think it's important?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's like, as time goes on, things will just happen naturally. You know what I mean? I feel those that are there, and those that are not, they are not. And eventually, they say the cream always rises to the top. So, if you just put true faith in that alone, that as long as you internally, your own self is correct, and you're a lead, people, you must lead from the top. It filters down throughout the staff or throughout the people surrounding you or whatnot in your businesses. It filters from the top. The staff below or whatnot. I'm not going to say below, like people are above each other. It's not like that. But I'm just saying, people that are looking at who's instructing them will be looking at how they carry themselves. They'll be looking at how the leader carries themselves, the chairman, the CEO, the boss, whatever way you want to call it. And then, they will respond to that. If the boss is late or if the boss is acting up, well, then everyone else thinks it's okay to act up. You know what I mean? So it comes down from the top. And that's why I'm almost like, regarding bad people that made bad energies or bad things, I don't dwell too much on that because it almost just works itself out as long as internally you from the top are correct and it filters down and you will only see good from that. A guy I've been speaking to recently was like, and even my own mother, right? I've been very proud of my mother recently, and actually, she actually, my mother was going through some things, and she came through it with flying colors, and she's like a new woman. And when I seen this, and my mother is at the top, my mother's the top, right? And that's that, seeing her correct. She wasn't telling me, Connor, do this, be right, get yourself right, do this, do that. Because that isn't almost, you're going to say, wait, what? I'm okay. And you'll almost rebel against that. It's leading by example. And I saw my mother in the great light that she was in, and I was in awe of it. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to get to that stage. I want to be in this position. And that motivated me to go and correct myself. So that's what I'm saying in that way. You know, as long as you in your place are correct and on top of your game to what you need to do and where you're going, everything else around you will fall into shape, and everyone will, you know, take inspiration from that and become that in their own way. And then they will bring their own qualities to it, which will make the whole picture like a Picasso, you know, like a Picasso painting.
For sure, man. Very wise words. I fully agree. The only way forward is lead by example. Don't force anything, because it will naturally happen. Wrong people will depart, and right people will join the wagon. You know.
Yeah.
So fully agree.
For sure. And I went through that. Went through this time, almost trying to get people the way I feel it should be, but it's not about that. That's all external. In the internal must be correct. You know, it's like listening to external thoughts or external doubts from people that will criticize you or want to see you fail or it's like a mirror almost. People will project their own insecurities towards you. You know what I mean? It's like it's all external. It does not matter. You know, as long as your internal is strong and correct and focused. Again, it's like a mirror. So my internal is correct, and I'm looking out in such a strong place. It reflects back like a mirror, you know. And then all I'm seeing is internal strength within my surrounding. You know what I mean? The external is not even a nothing. You know, I went through. You go online or something, you'll see some guy. Hey, you only fought Cerrone, or you know, like imagine some guy saying that about a legend or something, or you know, the way the fans kind of try and downplay who you fought or something, or you haven't fought this guy yet, or you ain't done that. If you think of it like a mirror, that man or that person who's writing this or saying this, he himself is projecting his own insecurities, because that man would have not even fought anyone on planet Earth. So he's saying, you ain't done this, you ain't done that, when really it's his own thoughts that he ain't done this or ain't done that on any scale. So it's like a mirror. So, you know, as long as your own self is right, everything else around you will become right, and that's it.
So being indifferent to external is also part of the key, right? Being indifferent to the external.
Yeah. And that's, yes, of course. And I've been reactive to it, external. And even now, with all the things that's going on with me in the fight business, Sergey, I know we don't want to talk about the fight business, no problem. I appreciate that also. It's a different conversation. Yeah, it's an attempt at getting a reaction, getting you to like bait on a fishing rod. You know, they want to draw out a reaction to paint your character or yourself in a different way, to see you go a different route. But it's like, as long as you're yourself and you're strong and you're, you know, like I said, leading from the top, you know, it's like it's non-existent. You're not reactive. You're creative, and that is what it's all about. It's about creating, not reacting.
Do you think for modern leaders it's important to have someone, you know, to pass on the knowledge, someone who will inspire you, or you think on your own it's also possible without listening to others to succeed?
You know, that's a bit ego. That's a bit of an ego issue. I feel you can't. You know, you've got to have an open mind. You've got to accept and not. You know, it's almost like the old martial arts way before it became like, before people began mixing the arts. It was like a karate coach would disrespect someone else's methods and almost really almost spit on the methods and the way of training, and that is not the right way. And then all of a sudden the fight would happen and it would not end well, and then they were forced to look at themselves, you know. So that I would feel that that's kind of the same thing. If you don't look for guidance from elsewhere, you know, we are all students at the end of the day, and that's got to be understood, no matter what level you are. You know, we are all students. We must all remain with that student beginner mindset. So I think to be a leader, you've got to be an amazing student. You know what I mean? And you've got to remain that.
No one knows where Conor invests. Where do you invest? Where do you normally?
What do you mean invest?
Like invest money? I mean, do you in which areas you invest? Some people know that you're co-owner of Proper 12, but do you have other businesses where you have stakes, and like what spheres of business do you put your money into?
I have many. I have many businesses, and I'm involved in many things for sure. You know, obviously I've got the Proper 12, I've got McGregor Fast, I've got the Mac Live Media. I've also got Paradigm Sports Management. I've got property development work going on here as well. I've got my hand in many pies. You know what I mean? Many good things that are going on. For me, I invest as far as like stocks and bonds and all of this type of thing. I don't engage in any of that. I don't engage. Not that I don't think that that's a bad thing, but and maybe down the line, I don't know. You know, if I've met with these financial advisors and I've listened to them, and you know, it's not really related to me, to be honest, to be putting my money in things that I've no interest in or no passion towards. I just go down and invest in things that I'm passionate about. I've got Claymore Productions also, which is a production company. And we've got big things planned with Netflix regarding my own movies, as well as executive producer of other ventures, and you know, so the production aspect is very good. I've got about 9 or 10, 8 or 9, I'd say.
How about technology? Do you have any investments into technology businesses, like I don't know, some websites, media websites, or technology companies who make games?
I have my media. I have my media site, the MacLive. We're actually doing amazing numbers. We're mainly mixed martial arts and fight sports, and we're looking to grow and go into other sports, as well as we do lifestyle and health and these type of things. So it's growing at a nice rate. You know, it's been steady, but the numbers are. You know, we're actually doing better numbers than the promotions that we're actually covering. You know, their releases, we're doing better than them. So you know, we're doing pretty good. We're getting good traffic, and you know, it's growing. So that would be my media side of things, and my electronic side of things, or my technology side of things. But also McGregor Fast. I'm in the closing stages of partnering up with a crowd from the US that had involvements in with Nike. They've done some amazing things with Nike, and a crowd called Freeletics. They have an incredible database and infrastructure for online fitness programs. They've had incredible success with it. So we are engaging in that process now. So pretty soon that will be done, and we'll be ready to launch that. And it will basically get you, the consumer, the person, will be able to train with me and under my guidance with the sport and by the sports scientists that have trained me. The entire program that got me to where I am will be readily available, and you'll be able to train from your home. So we're excited about that, as well as we are building. There will be McGregor Fast gyms all over the country. In America, we are launching first. So there will be brick and mortar, and then there will be online tutorials and programs for people. And this crowd that we are partnering up with specialize in this. So I've been going solo for the time being, and it's been a bit more, it's been for serious people only type of thing. You know, it's you sign up, you must get your tests done, you must get your RAM test done, your VO2 max, your body weight, all of these type of tests, so we can get correct data from you in order for us to calculate the workouts and the heartbeats and the zones that you must be in, be it power output or weights or whatever that is. So it's been a bit more specialist, more so. Now we are broadening it out. You know, we've done a lot more body weight exercises. I utilize all the stuff that I had learned over the years through my body weight exercises and things that you can basically now, you know, we can get the guidance from me through just in your sitting room, you know what I mean? So you're going to have a full range of that, and as well as that, we're going to into the merchandise side of things, into the protein, the supplementation side of things. We've been creating many great supplements also that we're gonna bring out as well. So that's another technology side of things that's going really well and moving towards an announcement. So hopefully really soon.
So from what I hear, you will increase your number of investments into technology sphere, right? More technology companies, because this is, after all, it's the future. I mean, after COVID, we see that the technological companies, they scale, they grow, they're like crazy, conquering the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this crowd now have an incredible database to reach the consumer, the online fitness consumer. You know what I mean? And the way they suggested to go at things and to launch things was very exciting to me, and I was very on board with it. I was like, this is the right setup. I believe we're going to change lives with this program, and I'm very excited about that. I'm also going to work on something that's a dream of mine, is to host a McGregor Fast World Games. Like a mountain bike hill racing. Maybe white collar matches at the end of it or something to decide the winner. There are many exciting games that we can create under the McGregor Fast program. Be it long endurance runs, be it short hills, be it even long hill sprints on the big heavy mountain bikes the training I've engaged in. Basically, I'm going to make them into competitions and then host a game somewhere in a beautiful part of the world, and have amazing athletes and competitors compete and bring people on board and do something good, and align it with all the people that are partnered with me, and continue to grow and continue to change people's lives for the better.
For all these businesses, you sit at the board and make only strategic decisions, or you actually involve yourself into operations? Like, how do you run it? How do you run all these businesses?
Yeah, I'm certainly involved in a lot of it. I'm on a lot of calls with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I have a great team of people, that work with me, and I would trust in them wholeheartedly. So they would come to me with many things, and then I would say what I would like or what way it should go, and then we kind of round it out. And I usually, the way I handle things in my life or business or anything, in such big ventures, and that there's a group of people, a collective group of people, and I would usually hear out everyone's thoughts on certain things, be it 2 people, 3 people, be it 10 people, depending on what situation it is, and I would gather all the information and where we are. Obviously growth is everywhere. I know we discussed other markets, and I'm all for it. I highly admire Party Match. I've had great work with yourself. I have a very close relationship with yourself. It's beyond anything, even business. It's at this stage, it's beyond that. I have a very close relationship with you. I admire how you carry yourself. I admire the 3 traits you said about yourself. I admire about you: your empathy, your calmness, and your passion. And all the staff that have been engaging with me, that I was out there that time. I had an amazing experience. I'd love to get partnered with it. I feel it's a sector that's going to come to me, I'm going to be engaged in anyway. It's going to happen somewhere, some way. So we have this amazing connection.
We have to do it.
We have to do it because it's going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm like, yourself. So I don't. Yeah. Hopefully, I hope so. I know you were saying about Audi, and he's a
betting has to be done between us. I agree. So we'll solve it. Apart from betting, any other sector where you would love to get in? Apart from betting, any sector you would just dream to get in?
Well, I did mention music. I do like music. I like performance. You know what I mean? So maybe something to do with that.
Do you have like a life purpose? You never shared it. Like ultimate goal.
Inner peace, to be happy, to be engaged in things I enjoy with the people that I enjoy spending time with. That's it.
What short advice can you give to all leaders out there, or all those who are struggling today? Like, what is a very simple formula how to live today, or how to adapt to continually changing environment and very challenging times? Like, what's the simple advice to everyone?
I suppose I'll just give the advice that I've been utilizing myself. Rather than looking out all the time at the doom and the gloom that's all around us at times, it sometimes feels like it's so overwhelming. Look within yourself. What are the what feel like minor things, but they are actually the major things. We'll call them minor things, right? What are the minor things that you can do in your own self that can make you better? You know, are you eating correct? Are you exercising correct? Are you resting correct? Again, back to the basics, back to the foundation, back to the core. Handle these things, and the outlook will begin to appear so much better. You know what I mean? It has to begin within. It is no one else's fault. It is all the external circumstances they do not matter. So do not give them time. Do not point blame at them, or do not put energy into them. Bring that energy internally. Focus on your internal self, your rest, your nutrition, your health, your exercise, your social time with people you love. You know, these type of things. Put time into these and watch everything else transform. That would be my advice.
Man, thank you very much. I mean, on behalf of Parimatch and all partners and the entire team, just want to express deepest gratitude for this interview, because this side of Conor not many people see. You know, they see fighting, they see maybe some tweets, some scandals, but not many people know real you. And I'm really happy that you are just as open as you are and just share from your heart various topics which are not easy to talk, like talking about lifestyle, how to be successful, how to manage family, how to inspire. It's not easy. So I really extremely appreciate everything you've done today for us. I'm sure it will inspire a lot of young guys after we show this video, this conversation with you. It will redefine you, I think, because people know you as a fighter mostly, but today I think they will see that Conor is just a person, to aspire to, because a lot to learn, a lot of wisdom, and no joke, like serious stuff. So I really appreciate this.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Sergey. Thank you so much for the conversation and the call. And the guidance and advice also, I appreciate it. So amazing, brilliant stuff. I look forward to continuing the talk and carrying on.